Good morning, students. So welcome back to my 113th video for class 12 economics. Macroeconomics part. Under macroeconomics part, this is unit 3, determination of income and employment, and this is part 14. Okay. So in our last class we have drawn the saving curve with the help of this saving schedule. So the saving schedule, the first column contains income, then second column contains consumption, and saving is obtained by subtracting income minus consumption. Okay, so when income is 0, consumption is 40, so saving will be minus 40. Likewise, when income is 100, consumption is 120, saving is minus 20. When income is 200, consumption is also 200, so saving is 0. Likewise, we have obtain the saving schedule, and with the help of this saving schedule we have drawn the saving curve. Okay, in this saving curve you can see that here this is the origin, okay, and this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So in the y-axis we have measured saving, and in the x-axis we have measured income. Okay, so we can see here that saving starts from a point below the y-axis. Below the x-axis? Why? Because saving starts from a negative point. Okay, so here saving curve SS starts from a point which is below the origin. Okay, so this amount is equal to the autonomous consumption. Autonomous consumption means the part of the consumption which is made when the income level is 0. Okay, so at this point, at the point R, the saving curve SS intersect the x-axis, and this is the break-even point. So in the break-even point, consumption is equal to income and saving is 0. Okay, you can see here break-even point is indicated by this. Okay, where income is equal to consumption and saving is 0. Okay, so when in this part, when income is negative, this means that when saving is negative, it means that income is less than consumption, so there is the saving. Okay, students, so now let us go through the explanation of this diagram. So the first point, at first you need to write in the x-axis we measure income, and in the y-axis we measure saving. Okay, then number 1 point you need to write saving curve, that is SS, starts from the point S on the y-axis. This indicates that there is negative saving when the national income is 0. So the first point we have written is that the saving curve SS, it starts from a point on the y-axis, and it starts from the point which is below the origin. Okay, so this indicates that saving is negative. Saving is negative because when national income is 0. Next point is SS has a positive slope. So we can see here that the SS curve, the saving curve, slopes upward, right? So it has a positive slope, which indicates the positive relationship between saving and income. Okay, so SS has a positive slope, means what? With the increase in income, saving also increases. Okay, third point is that saving curve crosses x-axis at point R, which is called the break even point. So you can see here that the SS curve intersect the x-axis at this point. Okay, this point we have marked it as R, and this is the break-even point, and at the break-even point consumption is equal to income, and saving is 0. Okay, last point is saving is positive after break-even point. So you can see here that before the break-even point saving is negative. Okay, this part, it is this saving. Okay, so after the break-even point, this part, okay, after the break-even point, this part is What? This part is the saving. Okay, this is positive saving, and before the break even point there is negative saving, which is called this saving, and after the break even point there is positive saving, because this curve lies above the x-axis. Okay, so this is all about the saving curve. Now let us move to the types of propensities to save. So like the types of propensity to consume, there were two propensities: average propensity to consume, marginal propensity to consume. Now here again we have two propensities. First one is average propensity to save, second one is marginal propensity to save. Average propensity to save, it is indicated by APS. Marginal propensity to save, it is indicated by MPS. Okay, so what is APS? What is average propensity to save? Okay, so like the average propensity to consume, which was the ratio of saving, which was the ratio of consumption to total income, here APS is the ratio of saving to the corresponding level of income. So APS, average propensity to save, is the ratio of saving to the corresponding level of income. Here APS is equal to saving by income, S by Y. Okay, so in order to get APS, we have to divide saving by income. Okay, so this is the table which will make you make the concept of APS clear. Okay, in the first column we have written income, in the second column we have written savings, and with the help of income, that is Y, and saving S, we can get APS. Okay, so income 0, 100, 200, 300, and then 400. Savings minus 40, minus 20, 0, 20, 40. Okay, so now APS. So how will we obtain APS? This one we have obtained by dividing saving by total income. Okay, saving, here it is minus 40 divided by 0. We cannot find anything divided by 0. We won't get the answer, so we shall put a dash here. Okay, then comes minus 20 by 100, which will be equal to minus 0.20. Then 0 by 200, 0. Then 20 by 300, that is 0.06. Then 40 by 400, which will give us 0.10. Okay, so in this way we shall find the APS, average propensity to save. So let us now go through some important points about APS. Okay, first one is APS can never be 1 or more than 1. So APS can never be 1. Why? Because saving is never equal to income, right? So how do we find APS? APS is equal to S by Y, right? So APS can never be 0. For this APS to be, APS can never be 1. For this APS to be 1, this should be equal to this, right? Suppose if income is 100, saving is also 100, then only we will get 1, right? But can this income be equal to saving? No. Whatever income you get, will you save the entire amount? Never. You will use some amount for consuming. It may be such that out of 100 rupees you may save 80 and consume 20, but it will not be any situation where you will save the entire amount of income. Okay, so APS can never be 1 or more than 1, because saving can never be equal to national income or more than national income. So for the value of APS to be more than 1, so if it should be more than 1, then this saving should be more than income, right? Then only it will be 2. Okay, so in any situation there cannot be such that income is less than saving and income is equal to saving. Okay, so APS can never be one or more than one, because saving can never be equal to income or more than income. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. Next, APS can be zero, as saving are zero at some level of income. So APS can be zero. APC cannot be zero because consumption cannot be zero. But APS can be zero because saving can be zero. Okay, at some level of income. Third is it can be negative or less than 1. So APS can be negative or it can be less than 1, because at income level which are lower than the break even point, APS is negative, as there will be this saving in the economy. Okay, so you can see here, or you can see here, that before the break even point APS is negative. Here also APS is negative. Okay, APS can be negative or it can be less than 1. So here also everything is less than 1, right? Last one is APS rises with the increase in income. So APS rise with the increase in income, because the proportion of income that is saved by you, it keeps on increasing as people begins to save more when their income increases. So when your income increases, of course they will save more, right? So then the APS, that is the ratio of saving by income, will rise. Okay, so APS rise with the increase in income. So students, this much for today. So please go through what we have discussed. We have discussed the explanation of this diagram, 4 points. So write it in your copy. Types of propensities to save. There are two types of propensity to save: average propensity to save and marginal propensity to save. We have discussed about average propensity to save, that is the ratio between income and national income, and we can obtain APS by dividing saving by income. Okay, and these are some of the important points about APS. Please go through it. Thank you.